There's universal consensus generally everywhere in the world across all parties that Bitcoin is a decentralized global asset that has value. It is without an issuer, and it is a digital commodity. In fact, it is the gold standard of digital commodities. So you study Bitcoin to figure out how to create a digital commodity.
MicroStrategy founder and executive chairman Michael Saylor has reiterated his firm's resolve to keep loading up on Bitcoin, the world's largest cryptocurrency by market cap. In a recent interview with CNBC, Saylor discusses the firm's Bitcoin bet, how much it has paid off over the past 3 years, and the relationship between the Bitcoin side of the business and the software side of the business. According to Saylor, both sides of the business enjoy a mutually beneficial and sustainable relationship. The software firm released its Q2 earnings results a few days ago. During the second quarter of the year, MicroStrategy reported $22.2 million in net income, a significant increase from the $1.1 billion net loss it reported in the second quarter of 2022. In keeping with its promise of loading up on as much Bitcoin as possible, MicroStrategy acquired an additional 467 Bitcoins for $14.4 million in July. Here's a tweet from Saylor announcing the firm's latest Bitcoin purchase. In July, MicroStrategy acquired an additional 467 Bitcoins for $14.4 million and now holds 152,800 Bitcoins. According to recent reports, the business intelligence company plans to buy even more Bitcoin in the near future. In its filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, the Nasdaq-listed firm said it has entered into a sales agreement with 3 companies to sell shares of its Class A common stock having an aggregate offering price of $750 million. The sales will be done over time through one of its agents. According to MicroStrategy, the proceeds from the sales will be used for general corporate purposes, including the acquisition of Bitcoin and working capital, and subject to market conditions, for the repurchase or repayment of the firm's indebtedness. During his interview with CNBC, Saylor discusses the firm's Bitcoin bet, the advantages of a spot Bitcoin ETF, the regulatory environment in the U.S., and what it means for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. As we bring you clips from the interview, please watch, share, and like this video. Also, ensure you subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications bell, and don't forget to drop your comments and observations in the comments section below. Thanks and enjoy the video.
The operating company provides diversification for investors versus the volatility of Bitcoin, and it also allows us to borrow money very cheaply. Our blended cost of capital is like 1.5%, and we're able to invest that money into Bitcoin. And on the other hand, our Bitcoin investment Bitcoin itself is up 145% since we started buying Bitcoin, and that Bitcoin position creates the volatility in the stock that allows us to borrow and raise capital cheaply in order to buy more Bitcoin and grow the business. But we go through successive cycles of leveraging and deleveraging. We've been deleveraging now, and generally our decision about whether or not we leverage or deleverage is a function of the market opportunity and what we think is most accretive for our shareholders. There's a growing consensus that Bitcoin is a unique and valuable international asset, and that's being endorsed by politicians. It's being endorsed by regulators. It's being endorsed by investors. You're hearing money managers like Larry Fink say this. And that has created a change in sentiment. You know, the odds of spot ETF being approved were 1% 6 months ago. Then they went to 50%, and this morning they were 65%, according to Bloomberg analysts. So that's really driving the near-term sentiment, but plus the fact that there's so much chaos in the crypto industry, Bitcoin is emerging as the safe haven institutional asset if you want to play this space without trying to parse through the politics, the legal, and the regulatory complexity.
Would a spot Bitcoin ETF be good news because it's a tied?
Well, I think a spot ETF is great news for the space. Bitcoin, you could think of as this beautiful house in a scary neighborhood that you have to pay for in cash, takes a year to buy, and you can never rent it. The spot ETF is like that same beautiful house in a nice neighborhood, and you can buy it tomorrow, no money down, and you can rent it and refinance it from your bank. It's not a threat to MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy is like that beautiful house with 10,000 acres of ranch land behind it that generates cash flow, that has a management team that can borrow money at 1-2% interest in order to develop the land. So we offer yield and we offer leverage through active management. which is unique for a set of our investors. We obviously don't have room in our capital structure for tens of billions of dollars of sovereign wealth or major hedge funds, so they need a spot ETF in order to take a position in the space.
During MicroStrategy's earnings call, as well as during a recent interview with Bloomberg, Saylor also discussed his thoughts on a spot Bitcoin ETF and whether or not it would be a threat to MicroStrategy. The business executive believes MicroStrategy will remain an enticing way for investors to gain exposure to Bitcoin even if the SEC approves a spot Bitcoin ETF, Saylor said. We can tap into leverage because we are an operating company, which an ETF couldn't do, so we view it as being beneficial to the entire ecosystem. We are a unique instrument. We are the sports car, whereas the spot ETF is going to be the super tanker. He also noted that spot Bitcoin ETF would allow large hedge funds and sovereign nations to invest billions of dollars into the leading crypto asset. Let's get back to Saylor's CNBC interview as he discusses Bitcoin's price, MicroStrategy's work on AI, and his outlook on the issue of crypto regulation in the United States.
I think looking back 3 years is very clarifying. 3 years ago, Bitcoin was about 10,000. And so if we look at the 3-year chart from August 10th of 2020 to today, Bitcoin's up 145%. The S&P is up 37%. The S&P is the cost of capital. Gold is down 3%. Bonds are down 18%. MicroStrategy is up 254%. And our enterprise value is increased by a factor of 10 by, $8 billion or something. So we're glad we adopted Bitcoin. We would say that Bitcoin is returning 4x the cost of capital. And if you're not getting 37% gain in those 3 years via the S&P, then you're not keeping up with the cost of capital. MicroStrategy's got a lot of options, a lot of opportunities to harness AI, and we're bringing out a new product based on AI shortly. So we're excited about that. What I'd say about AI is devaluing assets that are created with pure information or white-collar type straightforward labor. And AI is going to accrete value to assets that are energy rich. That acre of beachfront property in Palm Beach that an AI can't create, Bitcoin AI can't create. And ultimately, Bitcoin is the solution to a lot of problems AI creates. And if I was looking at the AI revolution, I would think, how do I buy scarce, desirable assets that the computer can't spin out of thin air? And if you own those, then you're going to be good, because the stuff that the AI creates in a split second, that's going to get devalued. Well, MicroStrategy's been in the business intelligence business for 30 years, and we brought this AI module to our customers recently. There's a lot of enthusiasm about what we can do. Anybody using MicroStrategy software is trying to sift through billions of lines of data to get an insight to run their company or their organization better. AI does a good job of joining with our software and our proprietary semantic graph in order to get them that answer faster and quicker. We think this is going to be really good for the business intelligence industry, and ultimately it's just going to make every enterprise more nimble, more agile, more intelligent.
Of course, I want to ask you about regulations. Can the case be made that Bitcoin is a commodity and doesn't require the same regulation as everything else, or is it coming?
There's universal consensus generally everywhere in the world across all parties that Bitcoin is a decentralized global asset that has value. It is without an issuer, and it is a digital commodity. In fact, it is the gold standard of digital commodities. So you study Bitcoin to figure out how to create a digital commodity. There's also pretty general uncertainty and conflict and controversy surrounding the role of crypto exchanges, stable coins, digital securities, tokens, and DeFi. I don't think that uncertainty is going to be resolved anytime in the next 2 years. And the chair of the CFTC is correct in saying we do need a political solution coming from Congress. It's pretty clear that there's not going to be a quick solution coming directly from the regulators or organically from the industry. So we're waiting for political leadership to resolve that ambiguity. Meanwhile, Bitcoin is the one unambiguous thing, right? It is the most certain thing in a very promising, innovative economy, but full of regulatory uncertainty. And so if you want to participate in the space, the way to do it is with Bitcoin.
With the latest Bitcoin purchase, MicroStrategy now holds 152,800 Bitcoin acquired for a total cost of $4.53 billion or $29,672 per coin. During the second quarter of the year, the business intelligence firm purchased 12,333 Bitcoins, the largest increase in its Bitcoin holding in a single quarter since Q2 2021. According to Andrew Kang, the firm's chief financial officer, the significant increase in MicroStrategy's Bitcoin holding during the quarter was done against the promising backdrop of increasing institutional interest, progress on accounting transparency, and ongoing regulatory clarity for Bitcoin. What are your thoughts on Michael Saylor's interview? Please drop your comments and observations in the comments section below. Also, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.